City, Dallas. Dak, how do you explain that performance? Can you talk about your play today?
Yeah, I mean, start off first two drives. Felt great. Go down, get a field goal. Second drive, feel good as well. Get down there. Anticipated a little too much, a little too early. Guy made a great play, initially driving on the flat. He's got the flat in man. Threw it early with the zero blitz. Was protected, however. Let it hang a little bit. Guy comes off of that. Makes a great catch. Can't turn the ball over in the red zone. And then from there, didn't feel like there was really another positive play after that for us to build off of, to get anything going, and very frustrating.
Do you need to be better with this team already challenged on defense?
For sure. Yeah, simple as that. I don't want to say I have to play perfect by any means, but I've got to play better than I did, and close to it, especially when you're playing a team like that. As talented as they are, they're hot right now. Good on defense, great on offense. Yeah, for sure.
Jack Todd Archer with ESPN. Does this type of loss make you wonder what this team can still be?
No, I mean, we've got to get better, simply. And obviously we're going into the bye week. I mean, we're 3-3, 6 games under us, a long season to go. I've been in worse situations, I guess you can say, in teams, and then got it going. Teams that got on a streak, I think about 2018, that, yeah, it's about us sticking together. And I think after a loss like this, no better time than to test the character of that.
What do you make of the bye? Does anything about this loss change how you guys approach the bye?
I mean, the schedule's the schedule. Get in there tomorrow, clean it up, look at it, be honest with one another. Everybody, myself, I'm sure Coach said the same. Look in the mirror, figure out what we can do, how we can be better for this team, put better units out there, and then collectively make sure that when we get on the road week after this bye, that we're a much better team than we put out there today, and try to build from that.
John Michaud with The Athletic. Jerry said he called it very humbling, very concerning, and he said this was a shocker. Are you on a similar wavelength to that, or do you think that?
Humbling for sure. That's the NFL, and humbling within the game. As I said, you go down first drive, feel good, feel like you know what I'm saying, should have got a touchdown, but you settle for the field goal. You come down again, and in the same situation, think you're going to score, and I turn the ball over, and then as I said, from there, can't get anything going. So, humbling for sure. Concerning. I'm not a guy to hit the panic button. I get to have the ball in my hands. I get to lead this offense. I get to lead this team. Hard for me to say that. And then shocking, I can agree to that to some extent, just on the way that they came out and played harder than us in every phase. And obviously you never prepare for that or think that can happen the way that it did today here at home again. Now dropping 3 at home, place that we've been great at. Yeah.
Nick Harris, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. There was a clear discrepancy as far as physicality goes between you guys and the Lions. How can you be a more physical football team as the season goes along?
Yeah, we've got to practice harder. Simple as that. You can't turn it on Sundays. I mean, I know I've said that before to the guys. We've just got to reiterate that every day at practice in our preparation. We've got to practice harder, prepare harder, come out here and play harder. And we can't. That's a choice. Coach McCarthy always says at time, physicality and the finish is a choice, and we've got to choose to do it better than the other team.
Calvin Watkins, last one news. The run game, you've been talking about it all season long. It seems, what do you think you continue to have problems getting it going?
It doesn't help when you get down in a game, obviously, and then you see the other offense rolling as they are. That good time for the bye week, us to figure that out, honestly. I mean.
Is that frustrating because you know the type of people you have in that room?
Yeah, definitely frustrating. All of it's frustrating. I mean, that whole loss is frustrating. Yeah, and as you said, knowing the people that we have in the room, the experience, the type of guys that we do, we've got to be better. And then knowing when you get that going, love play action pass. So then that opens up. So there's a lot when you get the run game going that you're able to do off of that.
Sadius of The Athletic. Dak, throughout the game, it seemed like you and CD were kind of on different pages sometimes. Why has it taken so long for you guys to get that chemistry that you guys had for so long?
I mean, just off the top of my head, yeah, I mean, it was a tough day in the sense. I mean, it wasn't just about me and CD. Yeah, sure, there was one throw here, a route here, he'll tell you. Protection not great on one. That, yeah, if I had the answer, I promise you we'd be a lot better. And as I mentioned, the same in the run game. It's a great time for us to figure it out and how to get better. But just reiterating, the people in the room, in that locker room, the trust I have in them, the faith I have in them. You're talking about a guy that'll double down with those guys, go to war every single day, restart this one and run it back, whatever. A lot of faith in those guys in the locker room and us getting it right.
What changes for you when it's been 3 times now where you guys have gone down really early? How does the offense change for you guys when you are digging out of such a huge deficit?
Yeah, we can't run the ball as much as we want to. It's hard to stick to the run that way. You're putting pressure on the offensive line of just drop back pass protection play after play against some great pass rushers. Forced to make, continuous to make covered throws when the defense knows that you've got to do that. But it starts with us. I mean, we're putting ourselves in that hole, whether it's I'm not blaming the defense. We've got to start off faster. I mean, right there, if I don't throw the interception, right, it's 10-3 us, right? And who knows how the game, it's pressure on them now. And that's the NFL. And just like that, they score. Pressure's on us. We go 3 and out. They score. We see how well they're moving the ball, and we're forced to play different than any team wants to in that position.
Dak, Ed Werder, WFAA. You mentioned you have to practice harder. Practice seemed like it was an issue 2 weeks ago in the locker room. Guys were talking about that. Why is it still an issue, and how are you ever going to resolve it?
2 weeks ago?
Jordan Lucas was in the locker room saying,
Well, we have high standards. I mean, and obviously people around us do as well. We want to win. We want to win. We want to play physical. We want to be great. And when all you know is preparing allows that to happen, and you're not winning, that's where you got to turn to. So it takes everybody looking in the mirror and saying, how can myself, how can we get better and help this team? And from, as I said, it starts with practice. It starts with our preparation. It starts with being on the field, and then the time away from the facility. That what are you doing? How are you spending your time? Are you studying the game? Are you putting yourself in every situation and position to be ready for it and to be great in those moments? We've got a lot of guys, myself included, who have to answer those questions and be better. Period.
Hey, Dak. Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Couple quick questions. First one, you guys are 3-3, 11 games left in the regular season. As the leader of the locker room, what is your message to those guys going into the bye week?
Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Go watch these 6 games over the bye week. Take a few days off. Reset. And be ready when we get back into that building Monday to refocus and do every single thing that you can to help this team. And everybody has a role, whatever that role may be. Make sure you understand what it is and it's carved out. And if it's bigger than what it was a few weeks ago, if it's smaller, whatever it may be, figure out a way just to be the absolute best in it. And as you said, 11 games left. We're going to take it one at a time. San Fran's next. So as we watch these 6 games, go ahead and get a jump start on a couple of their games and be ready to, as I said, to refocus after this reset.
A few seasons ago, obviously, you suffered the devastating leg injury. Can you just talk about your feelings in the moment when Aiden went down and just any words you have for him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's tough to watch. As you said, having experienced it, knowing where he is in that moment. Hated it for him, hated every bit of it. But for me initially, I just told him, keep his head up. It's part of the story. I promise the way that this guy started his career, the guy he seems to be, not knowing him, he'll be better after it. No, it's probably hard to imagine right now. And then the last part I just told him is it's part of the story. It's part of his story. And hell of a player. I mean, hell, he did it going out on a sack. So, I mean, game changer, wishing him the best in his recovery. I know it's going to be a mental challenge just as much as it is physical. But the way that he's started his career and the player that he seems to be, I imagine he'll be just fine and recover from it.
Hey, Dak. Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. You mentioned 2018. That year, your team made a big move at the trade deadline and getting Amari Cooper. Does the team need that type of move to make a 2018-like run?
I mean, they're two different teams. I mean, obviously, I know referencing that team, I was just saying we're 3-5 before we got rolling. Don't plan to be 3-5 with this team. However, that's up to the front office. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of confidence in the guys we got in the locker room, the young guys coming on. You see Tolbert play day in and day out, game in and game out, getting better, making plays. We'll get Brandon Cooks back healthy. Leave it up to those guys. My job is to make sure that I continue to push the locker room, the guys in that locker room. As I said, make sure they understand their role and how to be better in their role.
Aaron.
Dak, Aaron Cousins, Lone Star Live. Second straight week you had a pick sort of in the end zone or at the goal line. What went wrong with that one, and what's kind of the common theme with the red zone struggles?
Yeah, I just mentioned it. Guy made a great play. I anticipated a little too much. That's where the ball's got to go, should go on that play. I can stare that guy down to the flat a little bit longer, hang on my back foot, maybe take a hit, and then put it in the back corner. Then I'm sure it's a touchdown. So that one's completely different than last week. But, however, you can't turn the ball over in the red zone. Get in the red zone, our kicker, our team, those are guaranteed points that puts us up, I think, right? No, it doesn't, right? Yeah. It would have been up 6-3. Yeah, something. But it would have been a lot better than the alternative and what happened. And just got to be cleaner. I mean, we've got to find ways to get in the end zone. I feel like we're at this point kind of last year going into the bye. Red zone was a struggle. Went into the bye, figured some things out, came out playing a lot better. I can tell you we plan to do the same. I plan to prepare over the bye week to figure out what we can do in the red zone better, but we've got to score touchdowns, especially with the players that we have. I know the run game, when we get it going, that'll help. And we've got to score touchdowns. You can't beat teams like this. You can't beat great teams kicking field goals.
Hey, Dak. Pat Doney with NBC DFW. I was going to ask you about Aiden Hutchinson as well. Just building on that a little bit. How important was that to you to seek him out and go and say something to him? I know his whole team was out there, and some of the Cowboys players were doing that. But you personally knowing what's ahead in his journey, likely having experienced that, how important was that to you to personally go and say something to him?
Yeah, it's just something that I felt in the moment. Being honest with you, I'll probably get his number. I know I will from one of the Michigan guys in the locker room and reach out again. I just know in that moment, at that time when I was in that position, I remember my guy Logan. Logan, right? Yeah, he gave me some words of encouragement, but once again, when you're in that, it's blurry. It's blurry. So I don't even know if he heard him. Don't care if he heard him. I understand where he was, but it was Logan's follow-up to me. That meant the most, and I'll do the same. Maybe it's even passing and sharing the same book that he shared with me. So, it's just something I felt in that moment. As I said, understanding where he was, but being the competitor he is, he probably didn't care what I had to say, and wishing him well and everything, whether it's surgery, whenever that is, and he'll be back better.
Book, again, you talked about it before.
Yeah, it was with Kobe, and then it was one with Kobe, and then it was the Michael Jordan Relentless.
Dak, Tommy Arsh, DallasCowboys.com. Common theme with you and your teammates has been, look in the mirror. When you look in that mirror coming out of the bye week, what are you hoping to see in the reflection?
It's an interesting question there. I know what I'll see. A winner, a leader, and somebody's going to push his guys to be better, myself to be better, this whole locker room. We're not going to panic. We're 6 games in. We're 3-3. Got, 5 division games left, and those are huge. Got a big one coming up here against San Fran. So it's a lot of football left. It's about just being accountable. And when I say that, trust me, I'm as accountable, I feel like, as anybody in this world, whatever we may be talking about. So just making sure other guys feel the same, do the same, and push themselves to be better.
Mike Leslie, WFA. Dak, over these next 2 weeks, the advantage of the bye week, how can you utilize this? How can you and CD utilize this, perhaps in a way that might be akin to what you would have done in Oxnard? Is there something that you can replicate that might allow you to find some rhythm?
Yeah, communication. Spend a couple of days putting the ball in the air. And I mean, honestly, as simple as that. Communication, a little bit of work, and understanding that these defenses are doing a good job. Let's not discredit them. This is the NFL. When you put up numbers like we have together, guys aren't just going to come out and play you man or one-on-one with CD and let you have a field day. I mean, you go back and look at that film, they pretty much had two guys accounted for them the whole time, and when they didn't, that's where our completions came in. And then, yeah, as I said, missed them. I can say off the top of my head on three particular throws where one was a route, one was pressure, one was a throw. So, and then obviously I got to go back and look at the rest. But, yeah, we got to give credit where it's due and just continue to push and maybe scheme up some of these double teams better as well, and understand that when we get going, it's going to be hard to stop.
Dak, you know this organization, the reaction around this organization when it comes to losses like this. For Coach McCarthy, there's going to be people who wonder about him. Why do you believe in Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, the man he is, the preparation that he puts into this, the leader. I'll go to war for that guy, with that guy, every single day, and I'm not the only one in that locker room. I feel like everybody feels that. If you heard what he said after that game, not something that I care to let you guys in on, honestly, but strong message, and in a loss to be able to feel that way, show those emotions, and respond. I'll follow him, and. Especially, I mean, he, as I know he's probably said it. He said it to you guys. He said it in there. He's looking in the mirror, as we all should. And thankful for him as my coach, period.
Thank you, Dak.
Thank you, guys.